Every single year, stroke steals nearly 12 million lives worldwide. That's one person every few seconds. Heart failure and clogged arteries claim millions more. But what's even more alarming is that up to 80% of these events could be prevented, if only the early warning signs weren't ignored. Most people picture a stroke or heart attack as something sudden, a collapse, a shock, a single moment of crisis. But that's not how it begins. It starts quietly. Days, months, sometimes years earlier. Your body tries to warn you, not through pain, but through the smallest sensations, one so ordinary that you brush them off without a thought. That's the real danger, because by the time the warning grows louder, the damage has already been building in silence. The arteries that once carried oxygen easily are narrowing, stiffening, and starving the brain and heart of their most precious fuel. In today's video, we'll reveal what those quiet warnings actually mean, and more importantly, what you can do to reverse the process before it becomes irreversible. We'll look at how circulation shapes memory, balance, and vitality, and how a few small choices each day can reopen the very highways that keep your brain alive. If you're over 60, this isn't just another health topic. It's your roadmap to staying clear-minded and independent for years to come. So before we begin, take a second to share, and subscribe, because what you'll hear today might be the reason you never have to face that emergency call in the middle of the night. Number 1. The silent chill in your hands and feet. Sometimes, the first sign that something's wrong with your circulation doesn't come from pain. It comes from cold. You touch your hands, and they feel like they belong to someone else. Your feet take longer to warm, even under thick socks. You tell yourself it's the weather, but your body is whispering something far more important. Blood is the body's delivery system. It carries oxygen, warmth, and nutrients through an intricate network of arteries. But as we age, those arteries can begin to narrow, not because we did anything dramatic, but because tiny layers of fat and calcium quietly build up over time. When the passage narrows, the outer neighborhoods of your body, your hands and feet are the first to suffer. Less oxygen reaches your muscles and nerves, and that's when the tingling or chill begins. This might sound minor, but the science behind it is serious. According to cardiovascular research from Oxford in 2022, reduced blood flow in the extremities can appear years before a major vascular event like stroke or heart failure. It's the body's early alarm, a message that the system needs help before the damage reaches the brain or heart. The good news is that circulation can be trained, just like a muscle. Start your mornings with 5 minutes of gentle movement. Roll your wrists, flex your ankles, or wiggle your toes to invite warmth back into the capillaries. Even better, dip your hands in warm water for 30 seconds, then cool water for 15. That temperature contrast acts like a wake-up call for your blood vessels, reminding them to expand and contract properly. And don't forget nutrition. Your plate is part of your medicine cabinet. Add a bit of ginger to your tea, a handful of walnuts to breakfast, or a small serving of salmon for lunch. Each of these helps your arteries relax and improves blood flow naturally. Over a few weeks, you'll begin to feel a quiet difference between hands that warm faster, legs that feel lighter, and a body that no longer feels like it's running cold. That's your circulation coming back to life. But here's an important reminder: if that tingling, numbness, or coldness doesn't go away or gets worse over time, don't try to manage it alone. Persistent symptoms can signal blocked arteries or nerve damage that needs medical attention. See your doctor or a vascular specialist for a proper checkup. The earlier the cause is found, the easier it is to reverse. But as important as your hands and feet are, the real danger begins higher up in the arteries that feed your brain. Because when blood can't reach your head quickly enough, the warning signs become even more dramatic, and most people miss them until it's almost too late. Number 2. The sudden dizziness. When you stand up, you rise from your chair, and for a few seconds, the world tilts. The room feels like it's moving. Your vision fades to gray, and you steady yourself on the nearest table. Then, just as quickly as it came, the moment passes. Most people laugh it off, I just got up too fast. But that brief wave of dizziness is one of the most common early warnings that your blood isn't reaching your brain fast enough. Here's what's happening inside when you stand. Gravity pulls blood downward. In a healthy circulatory system, your arteries and veins instantly tighten and expand to push blood back toward the head. But as we age, the walls of those vessels lose elasticity and they react too slowly. For a few seconds, your brain doesn't get enough oxygen. That's why the world spins, and your balance feels like it's slipping away. Doctors call this orthostatic hypotension. But the real issue often lies with deeper, stiffened arteries that can no longer respond to sudden change. According to a 21 study from Johns Hopkins University, this kind of brief, repeated lightheadedness in older adults can double the risk of future stroke or cognitive decline. It's not the dizziness itself that's dangerous. It's what it reveals about how sluggish your circulation has become. The good news, you can retrain that response. Each morning before getting out of bed, sit up slowly, take 3 deep breaths, and gently rotate your neck and shoulders. These small movements wake up your baroreceptors sensors in your blood vessels that control pressure. When they stay active, your blood learns to adjust more quickly when you change position. Hydration plays a quiet but crucial role here. Dehydration thickens your blood, making it harder to move upward against gravity. Keep a glass of water near your bedside and take slow sips before you stand. And what you eat afterward matters just as much. Blood needs both volume and nutrients to stay healthy. So think of your breakfast as your first act of protection. Add foods that naturally build blood and support oxygen flow. Leafy greens like spinach or kale are rich in folate and iron to strengthen red blood cells. Beets or beetroot juice are full of nitrates that open blood vessels and improve brain oxygenation. Eggs and lean poultry high in vitamin B12 to keep nerve and blood production steady. Citrus fruits or kiwi, their vitamin C helps your body absorb iron efficiently. If these dizzy spells happen often, or if they come with blurred vision, nausea, or heart palpitations, don't brush them aside. It's time to speak with your doctor. Persistent episodes could indicate narrowing in the arteries that feed your brain or early changes in blood pressure control. Your balance isn't just physical. It's a reflection of how well your body manages flow. And when that balance starts to waver, the next system to feel the strain is the one that keeps your memory sharp and your focus clear. That's where our next sign begins, high up, at the back of the neck, where tension and poor circulation quietly meet. Number 3, the persistent stiffness or coldness around the neck and shoulders. It starts as a familiar ache, that heavy, cold feeling at the base of your neck or across your shoulders. You stretch a little, maybe apply a warm towel, and tell yourself it's just from sleeping wrong or sitting too long. But if that tightness keeps returning, or if it lingers no matter how you move, your body might be hinting at something deeper. Your blood isn't reaching your brain the way it should. Behind your neck runs one of the most important highways of circulation, the vertebral arteries. They deliver oxygen-rich blood straight to the back of your brain, the area responsible for balance, coordination, and memory. When those arteries start to narrow or harden, blood flow weakens, and muscles in the neck and shoulders begin to tense as they compensate. That's why this stiffness feels different, heavier, colder, and oddly resistant to massage or heat. Scientists from the University of Toronto found that reduced flow through these arteries is directly linked to slower reaction times and memory. Lapses in older adults. In other words, what feels like muscle tension might actually be your brain struggling with a shortage of oxygen and nutrients. You can start easing this pressure from 2 directions, through movement and through nourishment. Gentle shoulder circles done every morning can work wonders. Let your arms hang loose, lift your shoulders slowly toward your ears, then roll them back and down. Repeat it 10 times, breathing deeply with each motion. This small routine helps open the pathway for blood to travel from your chest, through the neck, and up to the brain. Now turn your attention to your plate. Foods rich in healthy fats and antioxidants can soften artery walls and improve elasticity. A drizzle of olive oil over vegetables, a few slices of avocado, or a small serving of sardines or salmon 2 to 3 times a week can restore that flexibility. Even a handful of sunflower seeds provides vitamin E, one of the best natural protectors of blood vessel health. If that cold, tight sensation doesn't fade after a few weeks of care, or if it's accompanied by headaches or brief moments of confusion, make an appointment with your doctor. These symptoms can signal reduced blood flow to the brain, something that's much easier to treat early than after damage has set in. Your neck isn't just a column of muscles. It's the bridge that connects your heart to your mind. When it stiffens, it's not asking for a stretch, it's asking for circulation. And the next sign, well, explore, appears even closer to that bridge right around the mouth, where the smallest numbness can reveal the earliest struggles of your brain's blood supply. Number 4. The tingling or numbness around the lips and tongue. It comes suddenly, a faint tingling at the edge of your lips, or a strange heaviness in your tongue. You might rub your mouth or take a sip of water, thinking it's nothing. But those fleeting seconds could be one of the body's clearest warnings that the brain isn't getting the blood it needs. The lips and tongue are fed by tiny branches of the same arteries that nourish your brain. When blood flow slows or becomes obstructed, these smaller vessels are the first to feel the strain. What follows is a temporary loss of sensation, a sign that oxygen delivery has dropped for just long enough to disturb the nerves. Many people experience this right before what doctors call a transient ischemic attack, or mini-stroke. It's the body's test run for something much more serious. Researchers at the Cleveland Clinic note that this mild numbness or slurred speech can appear 24 to 48 hours before a major vascular event. That means these sensations are not inconveniences, they are urgent alerts. To protect yourself, start by supporting your blood's ability to move freely. Foods that thin the blood naturally and prevent clots can make a real difference. Garlic, tomatoes, and berries all contain compounds that reduce platelet stickiness, keeping circulation smooth and preventing blockages. Even one small clove of garlic a day, crushed and added to your meals, has been shown to gently widen arteries and improve oxygen flow to the brain. A warm cup of green tea in the afternoon also helps. It's rich in catechins, plant compounds that strengthen the inner lining of blood vessels and improve how they expand under pressure. Together, these small daily choices can keep your arteries flexible, giving your brain the consistent flow it needs to stay alert and clear. If the tingling spreads to one side of your face, your arm, or you notice brief confusion or trouble speaking, don't wait to see if it passes. Seek immediate medical help. These moments might only last a few minutes, but they are the body's final whisper before a stroke. The face often speaks before the heart does. When numbness touches your lips or tongue, it's your body trying to warn you in its own quiet language, one that deserves to be heard. And as we move further down, the next clue appears not in the head, but in the legs, the part of the body that must fight gravity the hardest when blood struggles to move. Number 5. The aching or tightness in your calves. When you walk, you start a short walk maybe to the mailbox or down the grocery aisle, and before long, your calves begin to tighten. It's a slow, cramping ache that eases when you stop, then returns when you move again. Many people call it just weak legs or poor stamina. But this pattern reveals something much more specific. Your muscles aren't the problem, your arteries are. When arteries in the legs begin to narrow, they can't deliver enough oxygen to the muscles during movement. The moment you walk, your calves ask for more oxygen, but the blood supply can't keep up. The result is pain that builds like pressure and fades only when you rest. A condition known as intermittent claudication. Think of it as your muscles literally asking for air. The Mayo Clinic has linked this symptom to early stages of peripheral artery disease, PAD, which doesn't just affect your legs. It's a mirror of what's happening throughout your entire circulatory system, including the arteries that feed your heart and brain. Ignoring leg pain means ignoring the body's most visible clue that blood flow is compromised everywhere else. But there's hope in the movement itself. Gentle, consistent walking is one of the best ways to retrain your blood vessels. Start with 5 minutes at a pace that feels comfortable. When the pain begins, stop, rest, and then continue. Over time, this cycle teaches your arteries to form small new branches called collaterals, allowing blood to bypass blockages and restore oxygen delivery. Your diet can help build those pathways, too. Beets and leafy greens supply nitrates that open vessels and improve leg circulation. Oranges and berries bring antioxidants that protect vessel walls from further damage. A drizzle of olive oil over steamed vegetables helps keep those same arteries flexible and smooth inside. If the cramping or pain returns regularly, especially at the same walking distance each time, it's time to get checked by your doctor. A simple test called an ankle brachial index can measure how well blood flows through your legs and identify narrowing long before it becomes dangerous. The legs often speak before the heart. They just do it through pain instead of words. So when your calves tighten or your steps grow shorter, it's not a sign of age catching up to you. It's a message that your circulation needs help. And when the legs begin to strain, the heart is never far behind. The next signal comes from the body's engine itself, when your pulse begins to race or skip without warning. Number 6, the unsteady racing or irregular heartbeat. It can catch you off guard if your heart suddenly flutters, beats too fast, or feels like it's skipping. Sometimes it happens after climbing stairs, sometimes when you're simply sitting still. You pause, take a breath, and it settles. So you brush it off. But an irregular heartbeat isn't just a random quirk. It's often your body's last early warning that your arteries are struggling to deliver enough oxygen. When blood vessels narrow, the heart has to pump harder to keep up. Imagine trying to push water through a garden hose that's half blocked. The pressure builds, the flow changes, and the system becomes unstable. Over time, this constant strain forces the heart to adapt by beating faster or unevenly. It's a desperate attempt to maintain balance, but one that wears the system down even more. Cardiologists at Harvard Medical Review have observed that in adults over 60, irregular heartbeat, known medically as arrhythmia, often develops alongside arterial stiffness and elevated blood viscosity. In plain terms, thicker blood and tighter arteries make the heart's job harder, increasing the risk of stroke and heart failure if left unchecked. Supporting your heart begins with creating ease, not effort. Deep breathing exercises are a powerful, drug-free way to calm the electrical system that controls heartbeat. Sit comfortably. Place one hand over your chest. Inhale slowly for 4 counts. Hold for 2, and exhale gently for 6. Just 2 or 3 minutes of this kind of breathing can slow your pulse and lower blood pressure naturally. And food can be medicine here too. Meals rich in magnesium and potassium, such as oatmeal topped with banana slices, spinach omelets, or a handful of almonds help regulate heartbeat by relaxing the blood vessel walls and stabilizing your heart's rhythm. Omega-3 fatty acids from sardines or salmon also act as natural anti-inflammatories, reducing the stiffness that makes your heart work overtime. If your heartbeat often feels fast, uneven, or irregular, or if it comes with shortness of breath, chest pressure, or fatigue, it's time to see your doctor. These are not moments to wait out. Sometimes a simple checkup and adjustment in routine are enough to prevent a major cardiac event. The heart is your body's engine, but it's also its messenger. When it starts working too hard, it's not asking for strength, it's asking for relief. And relief is exactly what we can create by protecting the arteries that feed it. Because once you recognize these early signals, the chill in your hands, the dizziness, the neck tension, the tingling, the calf pain, And the racing heart, you've already taken the first step toward stopping something that takes millions by surprise each year. In our next video, talk about how to open those arteries naturally through morning habits, breathing techniques, and the right foods to keep your brain sharp and your circulation young. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And let's keep your blood flowing strong, one heartbeat at a time,